BMW fans, this one it's for us. When in 2023 BMW unveiled the Z4 Touring Coupe Shooting Brake and they didn't build it, a little bit of us died that day. But now, 2 years later, they finally redeemed themselves with this stunning new shooting brake called the BMW Speedtop. As you can see at the front, clearly it is based on another beautiful concept which was unveiled here last year, the BMW Speedtop. But in this video, I'm going to show you whether this car is worth €500,000 or not, and I'm going to tell you how many units BMW would actually build. So let's dive right into the design of this car. First off, as I mentioned, it is based on the BMW Speedtop, and you'll see this at the front. It's exactly the same car up to the A-pillar, and we're going to talk about that change right there. But front end, that beautiful shark nose that I've talked about with the BMW Speedtop, you can see it right here. It's reminiscent of the BMW Z8, of the 507 Roadster, and then of course it looks fantastic on this car because it's such a long car. I'm going to talk about the dimensions in a second as well. At the front, once again, you have the same headlights, the slimmest headlights ever put on a production series by BMW, identical to the BMW Speedtop. They are absolutely stunning. You can see the iconic double headlamps in there, very slim, very beautiful looking right there. And of course, you can see the shark nose, which kind of wraps around the front. Beautiful. Honestly, when you see this car from the side, you're like, this is so beautiful. This is going to age well. This is going to be a classic. Now, there is a slight difference compared to Speedtop, and you're going to see in the slats inside the kidney grille. So you have this silver chrome right there, but then the lamels inside, they're actually painted in black, gloss black. It gives this really nice reflection between that silver and the black, and especially with this paint. We're going to talk about that in a second as well. Lower part, similar thing. You got this lip also painted in silver, and then the contrast in this piano glossy black right there. Really nice touch. Gives the car a very luxurious look overall. Now, if you look at the hood also, you will see the same hood as on the Speedtop. You have this spline that runs across basically, but then it ends right here. This is a functional hood, so you have some air vents right there, and we can show you that from the side as well. But same design as the Speedtop, and honestly, I wouldn't change it either because it looks absolutely fantastic. Now, let's go maybe to the side and take a look at this one, because this is where things get really interesting. And this is where I get excited about this car, because it's a shooting brake, and you can see, I mean, this is so beautiful. Honestly, first time I saw the photos a few days ago, I couldn't believe it looks so nice in these photos, but to see it in real life, it's even better. I mean, look at this. Absolutely stunning shape. It's about 5 meters long. So, of course, you have a lot more room than you would have had in the Z4 Touring Coupe, which was a beautiful car, but of course, catering to a kind of different clientele. Of course, that car was rumored to be only about 250. This is over 500,000 euros, even though BMW wouldn't officially confirm that, but we can talk about that in a second as well. Now, look at the roofline. I mean, you can see this sloping roofline. It kind of gives me this idea of a boat tail. I mean, Rolls-Royce does this quite a bit with their cars, and I have no doubt that some of the inspiration came from there as well. I mean, you can see that spline also running across, kind of goes downwards in the back to give it this very aerodynamic, very luxurious boat tail look. One thing you might have noticed, it's the paint, because just like Speedtop, it fades. It goes from this dark maroon at the front all the way to the silver in the back. But speaking of that, I'm going to pull out my phone, because in typical BMW fashion, and they probably got this from Rolls-Royce, they got to have some fancy names for the colors. So let me read those out for you. So, Floating Sunstone Maroon. That's the overall color that starts at the front, and then as soon as it fades right here into the silver, that's going to be called Floating Sundown Silver. Very fancy BMW. I'm sure your marketing team loved working on these names. Now, we're going to talk about the interior in a second as well, because they got some other crazy names in there as well. Now, let's focus a little bit on the wheels before we go to the rear end. Not identical to Speedtop. Clearly there's an inspiration there. They're 14 spoke, but you can see this duality once again, silver with the black lamels right there, or the black spokes in there. Once again, very, very beautiful. It gives a nice contrast right there as well. It makes the car look a little bit sportier than the silver wheels there were on the Speedtop, in my opinion. In typical BMW fashion, they like to emphasize the shoulders of the car, and you can see it right here. I mean, it's such a bold car, especially from the rear end, because you know, it has an M8 underneath, so it's got to be a little bit of M in there. And you can see this in the shoulders, very broad shoulders. You have this line that goes in the back right here. It kind of connects with the trunk right there, and it looks absolutely fantastic. It's very clean from the side. BMW tends to do a lot of lines, but you have this main line right there, and then this one on the bottom, just a little bit, very, very subtle, but overall a very clean design from the side, and absolutely beautiful that way. You don't need too many creases to make this car stand out. Of course, you have this rocker panel, which doesn't stand out as much because it's painted in the same color. They tend to make that in a black color, you know, on other cars, and of course you'll stick out a lot more. Looks a lot cleaner that way. Another thing that they've kept from Speedtop, it's this new door handle. We've seen it on the Speedtop, we've seen it on the BMW VDX as well. I have a feeling that BMW will use this in production series cars for Neue Klasse. There is no reason why they would do this just for a couple of concepts. I'm going to show you how it works when we go to the other side, but I love it. Designers love it too because there is no door handle. It's very clean, better for aerodynamics, and it looks quite cool that way. More chrome, you can see the chrome right there. Chrome tends to emphasize luxury, even though BMW moves away from chrome with Neue Klasse. They decided to keep it on this car because, of course, it's an expensive car, so chrome denotes luxury. Why not? I love it. Goes really well with this maroon color, reddish color, which, by the way, it's kind of gloomy today, but I promise you, when you see this car under the light, under the sun, you will love this color even more. Now let's go to the back, because this is where the car is absolutely stunning, right? Let's start with the taillights. Once again, the slimmest taillights ever put on a production series car, because it will be a production series car. I'm going to tell the units in a second as well. There is a trick there, just like with Speedtop. They managed to put these LEDs inside, the silicon inside, and that was the only way for them to actually shape the taillights that way. Apparently, it's not an easy thing to do. It might look easy. Love them. Once again, that duality, a longer line, they got a smaller line right there. Shooting brake from the back. I mean, honestly, it's unmistakable, a shooting brake. And BMW doesn't really do a lot of shooting brakes, honestly. I mean, there are very few. We just covered an article on this, and I think we counted about 4 or 5 over their entire history, including concept cars. Of course, you have the Speedtop right there on the license plate to denote that this is a concept and it's a Speedtop. So you'll see the Speedtop name in different places inside the car as well. This area has also changed a little bit, so the diffuser, it's a little bit different than on the Speedtop. Once again, it's got that glossy black, which looks, once again, quite cool with the color right there. Oval tailpipes, this is something that you see a lot on Alpina cars, and of course we've seen this on the Speedtop. They're quite large, the car sounds quite good. I've heard actually the car being driven here, and it's that typical M8 V8. Unfortunately, we're not able to open the hood, but I can tell you 625 PS, 4.4 liter. I'm not sure about the performance, but I can tell you that the regular M8, it can go either 2.8 seconds to 3.2 seconds. So this car is fast. Of course, you're not buying this car to go to the track. You're buying this car to enjoy this beautiful Italian landscape and drive around with your family. All right, so let me show you open the doors. Once again, just pull right there, it opens. And because this car, it's all about leather. As you can see inside, leather everywhere. Let me show you something cool. For the concept car, they have this special bag made by Schedoni. It's an Italian leather maker, as you can expect. Really high quality. I'm not sure if they can sell this one with the car. We're unsure at this point, but it was made for the concept. As you can see, you have the Speedtop name right there, this brogue-style stitching as well. I mean, even the zippers, they're so easy to move around. High quality bag, and you got this nice contrasting fabric right there. Very cool. I mean, beautiful bag. Hopefully they sell this as a separate set as well, because pretty sure our wives would love this. All right, so let me put this back in here. All right, so let me show you first the driver's side. Once again, same thing as the Speedtop, same steering wheel, same leather, same color. Love the fact there is a lot of buttons right here. We're gonna talk about that in a second. This is different though. So you're getting this crystal, it's gonna move like a bluish color. On the BMW Speedtop is more of a rainbow color, which look cool as well, but I like this one quite a bit. Of course, you have the same dashboard right there as in Speedtop. It's inspired by BMW M8 and the A series, which is actually a selling point. I know BMW would love to talk about more digital stuff, but honestly, this is perfect for the car. I would not want a big screen in here. This is ideal. And speaking of that, look how many buttons we have here. This is like button galore. Love it. You know, small screen, good enough. I don't need more than that. This is actually great, BMW. Thank you for doing this. The seats, honestly, it's the same design as in the Speedtop, just the color is different. You can see also there is this nice padding right there. You can see the stitching, and of course you can see the Speedtop right there with the blue color, so that's different as well. Brogue styling everywhere. I'm gonna choose a B-roll for this so you can see a little bit the details a little bit more, but honestly, Same seats, different color, love them, quite comfortable. Now, maybe we go to the other side and we're gonna show you the other side as well. All right, so from the passenger side, once again, you can see the seats a little bit better right here, so maybe it's worth mentioning. Once again, brogue styling right there, cool. You have this Sundown Maroon. Did I get it right?
You did it.
Okay, perfect. So Sundown Maroon and Moonstone White. Did I get it right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so we got that. So same thing as you see right here. You have it right there, embedded. Looks quite cool. Brogue styling, of course, really high quality leather. I mean, this is something you don't see in BMWs usually. I would have to say that maybe not even in Alpina, something you see in high-end Rolls Royces, honestly. And this is absolutely stunning. Of course, compared to the other car, you get a little bit more Concept Speedtop badging inside, and another one, it's right there. Of course, it's all leather. You can see there is leather on the bottom as well, but leather here, Speedtop, and then everything here is just nice leather, even the floor mats and the side wall and all of that. So quite nice. You can see once again the crystal package right here in this bluish color. Absolutely beautiful. Too bad it's not sunny outside. It sort of sparkled quite a bit. More brogue stitching right here. Tons of details. Honestly, this car, it's all about details, and I'm sure I will find a lot more if I look around. And speaking of looking around, let's talk about this, because this is very cool. So I think this BMW calls this a spline. Okay, so I got this right. And essentially, it's the same line that you see from the hood going across the roof, and then it ends into the rear end, and you can see it right here. What's cool about this one, not only that it looks very nice in chrome, it's also got this ambient light behind it, which kind of splits the cabin in two. BMW, it's all about duality, a lot of their products, especially on the M side, and you see this in this car as well, this nice split. Of course, you got another split in the leather right there. Very nice touch. Of course, this is also Moonstone White right there, and it goes very nice with the maroon right there. So really nice dual leather in the car. Absolutely stunning. Once again, you can see also more Speedtop right there. So there is a Speedtop plaque right there, I would call, once again, out of chrome. And then you can see this very cool design. I mean, look at this separation between you and the passenger. Honestly, for long distance driving in this car, it's absolutely stunning. If you look back there, you can see also there is no separation between you and the trunk, so there is no window back there. And speaking of the trunk, we're gonna take a look at that in a second. You can see leather everywhere, right there on the floor too. We talked about this strap a little bit, but you can see it right there on that side as well. There is another bag, so 2 bags overall. Leather here because you need it. It would be a shame if there was plastic here. And yeah, very nice. All right, so now let's open the trunk of this beautiful car. It's all electrically operated via the remote right now because it's a concept. Of course, there will be a button to do this in the future. But first off, you might be thinking, oh, wow, there is no space here. But we're going to get to that in a second. So first, let's take a look at this. There is a beautiful ambient light in there, similar to the one that you see inside with that spline. Very cool. Of course, more Speedtop badging right there because why not? You get these nice straps right here. They're just for visuals. Once again, this brogue styling, nice stitching all around. Same leather as the inside, very high quality. Now let's see if there is more space in this one. So I'm gonna be very gentle. I'm gonna use this hand so I don't scratch anything. You lift it up and there you go. So a lot more room than you'd expect, a lot more room than Skytop from what I recall, because that thing had a Targa top, so you had to fold it and put it in there. And now you see this bag as well, because why not? Different styling than the other one. You see this is more fabric predominant compared to the leather on the other one. Same colors. Sundown Maroon. I think I finally got Sunstone Maroon, Sundown Maroon. Got it. Okay, so once again, Schedoni made. Nice. I mean, what's there to say? I'm not a leather person, but honestly, this is pretty nice. Speedtop right there. Why not? And now you can see the space in here too. So of course, it's a long distance car, so you need to have a lot of space for bags, but also for golf clubs, as you can see right there, or tennis rackets, whatever you want to fit in there, you can actually see how much space you have. You can slide it in there. There is more details in here as well. So you have these straps once again there to hold things in place. Speedtop, brogue styling, brogue stitching once again. Very cool. I mean, even these hinges right there, they're made of chrome, really high quality. Same thing with this one. So BMW really paid attention to details when it comes to this car. And of course, it's all leather. So, you know, you might want to put something on there if you put bags with rollers, because, you know, you're paying that much money. You want to keep this car in good shape in here. And I'm pretty sure, once again, if I look closer, I'm going to find a lot more details. You can see once again right there, you have this chrome. I'm even like afraid to leave smudges there because it's such a nice car. So that's the trunk of this one. I mean, once again, leather overall here. Once again, you can see everything, it's leather inside, as you'd expect if you spend this much money for this car. So speaking of spending money, I already mentioned, the unofficial price because BMW doesn't want to share it yet, but similar price to the Speedtop, right? It makes sense. It's based on the same car. It has to be similar range, maybe a little bit more expensive. But there's a caveat. This car, it's actually going to be made in 70 units. So compared to the 50 units for Speedtop, they're going to make the Speedtop in 70 units. Thank you, BMW. 20 extra rich people now get to enjoy this car. But you know what? It's actually pretty nice. So honestly, I encourage you to take a look at this one at Villa d'Este this weekend. I'm sure this car will go around the world in the next few months, the next few years. You'll be able to actually see it in real life. And believe me, you want to see it because it is absolutely stunning. So in my opinion, yes, €500,000 might be a lot for a BMW, but this is not your typical BMW. This is truly a very, 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 very special car. And I love it. Honestly, I don't say too much about BMW design lately as far as loving it, but this one, they nailed it. Absolutely stunning. So thanks again for watching. In the next video, I'm going to have an interview with the new head of design for the luxury class, Max Missoni. And we're going to talk about the design of this car in more details because he's the expert. I am not. So I'm only going to tell you what I see, at a higher level, but he's going to go into all the other details. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.